Good afternoon, all. This is Fahmy Hamzy. What a long day this has been. It's the morning after. It's or early afternoon after, or late afternoon, early evening after of the election day. It's in the U.S. It's November 9th, 2022. Time is about 5:14 p.m. Eastern. Welcome. Uh, Not much to report. We're in the middle of a lot of stuff. On technology issues as we were improving our bandwidth, so to speak, mainly because we're overwhelmed and we're just getting set up for our second system house in Chicago, and of course it has been behind. So, but hopefully by tomorrow I can spend some time on it. But the good part I like is they've they set up they're setting it up. They're giving me free reign basically, mainly because what's happening at this uh, at StoneX, we have some crazy results. You know, something like 500 and I don't know if it's current one, maybe a day old, but just a very quick view. Yes, I'm not plugging for that. Somebody complained about that on the uh, on the on YouTube, and you know what? I'm sorry. If you don't like it, you don't have to come. Yeah, exactly. Uh, there we go. This is the NQ. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is it. Very good. And I think this is at November 5th, so it's a couple of days back. Um, I think we had one small loss and one big small win. So this the data hasn't changed much, but since we're ranked three, I think in the for 1 year, even though we've only been there 5 months, so we're killing their setup. That's the NQ. Here's the MNQ. We just have to manage the expectations. Look at that number. That went up about a month earlier. Of course, first day out of the shoot, it returned like 90% that day. No, more than that. It returned like 140% that day. On the $1,200 margin requirement, no, I'm sorry. Margins were double back then. It was 2,400. It brought in 1,600. So whatever that is, like 80%, we made 80% return in one day. So we started really good in May. The net for the month was 92, win or loss. So, but you could see the winners, the losers. Look at the ratio. Pretty much we have kept a 1.7 win loss ratio. That's remarkable. And you can see it. Max drawdown was 3 grand, and max negative PNL. That means the money we started with on May 5th, we never went below that level we started. I mean, which is 1,200. We never went below that, never. Uh, and so it's always had a positive retained earnings. Biggest winner, biggest loser, so on and so forth. 10 winners in a row. Yeah. Remarkable system. We're just overwhelmed. And but we're done basically with the development. 4.7 is out. There may be a couple of small stuff we may do for some flexibility, but my work is done. I'm doing some other stuff for the fund, but that's not for distribution. So I've been busy with that, and testing is an issue, and also it's a 24/7, it's a 24/6 problem. So it really try to help me outside of the Orb environment. Orb is opening range balance. Those two are posted here. If you go under products, especially second one is the automated one. First one is a chat room only, okay, which we run on GoToMeeting. Anything else we want to do? No, we're good. Okay, we're doing an update on uh, checklist by initial install, by daily, weekly, and monthly at various issues you need to have, and we're adding some snapshots to better document for you. What we're trying to manage is our tech support. Unfortunately, our tech support issues are the incoming is the wild, wild west. People don't read, they don't do their homework, the cowboys, and the slightest problem, they run to daddy, and that's no. OneNote, we run on a cloud. This machine is on a cloud. This website is run by Microsoft Cloud. You can't get better than that. They created the operating system. If it goes down, not our software, but the hardware. The hardware goes down, we won't notice it. So switch it over instantly. Boom. And it's constantly being backed up. And so it just that's the beauty of cloud. 99.999% uptime. Now, if there's a problem at the cloud, you can have an issue. Yes, you can. But let me just close my emails. We don't need this thing coming in. Okay. But that's rare. I mean, once in a blue moon that could happen, but that impacts every website they have, and they would know. They'll be on it, and you just basically slow down first, and then they recover. I believe once that's happened to us, and we've been on a cloud since 2016, so 6-7 years. But back then was chat room only, but same account. We just took the chat room down, moved the chat rooms to GoToMeeting and Zoom, and we just put our gatekeeper there, which is much smaller footprint. But that has happened only once. So if you're not getting to this, look in the mirror. Yeah, something's on your end. You can't get to this page yet. It's typically it's not. Now, if we break something, let's say I come and program something there, yes, that could make it a problem. Then it's not you, and it's not Microsoft, it's us. But we have not touched any programming. If we do anything on that, it's done on a weekend. Larry Brown does it, our CTO, and we have development machines, we test on that first, and we go up. So you won't even know until the software is ready, that module, whatever we're adding. Like, for example, we added, what do you call it? Tech support appointment setup. Yeah, so that's on both for the day trading system and also for the indicator package. But we test that feverishly before, locally, and then we just hit a button and it uploads. And anyhow, and then we test it one more time there. All right, let's get on to so that's housekeeping. Next webinar here will be again next week this time. We did go, let's go through the calendar first. And then I'm going to talk about the election, and I'm going to talk about our call. Quickly, okay? Sorry. Okay, what we had today was, it was no important, not right, as oil prices. I'm actually more interested in the Baker Hughes rig count. But at these prices on the oil, there's every incentive to drill as much as they can. The problem is what does it take to come online? That's the problem they have. The peak we had in oil was 2019, okay? And I think by next year we'll be back at that level because of 2020, there was no demand. So they mothballed everything, and it takes time to come back. Hi, Thomas. How are you, sir? Welcome. So, so that I didn't pay attention to that. Williams spoke really early this morning. Didn't listen to that. Actually, I was up around 4, and I went to bed around 1:30. Make the call. I'm going to go over that. Make the call on Time and Digest. Send the copy to everybody, but that clogged up the website. And then I was up at around 7, actually, not 4. I was up at 4, went back to sleep, got up at 7, and I made sure that there was no email issues. And sure enough, it was. I'd done something unusual. I suspected that could be a problem, and but I recovered. Early in the morning, I recovered. Then I traded very well. Then I had some stuff to do, and then last hour, I goofed it up. It's okay. It's a game. You learn things not to do. So remember, it's money. And it's only money. It's not blood. It's only treasure. And so I gave back a day. So I'll bring it back. I've had a couple of really good days, but this one was and this one was really a good one too, but I goofed it up in the last hour. I should have got involved. Because I was tired. That was a problem. And Comcast showed up. We have a problem on the premium channels. And I use that for some market timing stuff. Actually, believe it or not, some premium reports they have. And I can't get it since the a hurricane. So this is a problem also with the phones too. The Verizon. Yeah, I spent an hour yesterday in the Verizon store trying to figure out what's wrong, and the provisions go bad when everything gets shut down. So be aware of that. Yeah, it's not down here. Is not a paradise you think it is, or what you see in the pictures. Sometimes we do have some serious problems. Okay, mortgage applications down 0.1 on a composite. Obviously, refinance means nothing because where the rates are. That's a given. What I would like to look at, I mean, I'm an ex-mortgage banker, but I mean, last time I did was like 30 years ago. Purchase index a little bit up, yeah. I think the rates probably are peaking. We'll get into that a little bit, but I need more data. Well, one of them is tomorrow, CPI tomorrow, and then PPI, which is probably my work, is more important. Will be next week. We used to get PPI then CPI. They have it in reverse. CPI, you better feel for it. PPI is upstream though. That's more important to me long term. Yeah. So you see that the pressure that builds up, that the higher prices will be pushed onto you, including labor cost. This one is basically food and energy. So you can see what the numbers are for tomorrow: 0.7, prior 0.4, and it should tick down to around 8. We'll see. Now you would say, why is it 0.4 to 0.7 and year to year? Well, because different time series. This is just 1 month. That's the 12 monthly readings. Say 2. So this one would be 8. So market is looking for 0.7 month to month, but more importantly, year to year of around 8. Any downtick from that, this market wants to rally. I realize that. I know. But I think as we saw in the election last night, it wasn't about inflation. It wasn't about oil prices either. It was character and abortion. So, and you could see it. And the Trumpkins got creamed, other than Florida. But that's how the data came in. And to surprise everybody, I was beginning to panic that there's going to be inflation. Originally, it said, you've probably seen some of my posts, it's Roe versus Wade, but Roe v. Wade, but I kind of backed off from that and I said, this inflation is more tenuous than we think. It's not going away. And maybe it could cause a problem. I was wrong. So here we are. Anyhow. So how do we go into this tomorrow? Now, why did I went short? That's not why we're on the subject of election. The Bush tax cuts, not Bush, Trump tax cuts, would have expired end of this year. If I got my reading right, there's a lot of reading going on there. And the market rallied into thinking that we're going to have of course I think that was Fed meeting. We've been rallying, saying most likely there's a big change in Congress and they're gonna renew the tax cuts for the coming year. Well, last night data showed that the red wave was just a fiction. It wasn't real. And still, we don't know exactly, obviously, but the moment that was clear, that most likely it's not going to be that bad. The market, oh Jesus! Look at Tesla, yeah. Pico Tetzel. Okay, sorry, I just saw Tesla on CNBC, down 7% at 177 now. Wow. Oh wow. Yeah, we got out of Tesla. We were in again. We went to Tesla second time. This time, the moment it rallied a little bit, and I had my market call, which was this day, right there. You said this day. On this day, that afternoon, we sold everything. That was October 25th. And then, so my call last night was that, hey, I think the market is really poised to go down. So if the number stays up tomorrow, and the gas prices have been going up a little bit, if the CPI number stays up, this would be day 2, and day 2 is going to be severe. Usually it's a 3-day rule. Second day is the biggest move you have. Think of it like a wave count. Not that I'm a follower of waves because that's just very subjective. But if you look, you see all the big moves have three bars to it. Second one's the biggest. Now think about it. There's a gap here. You have to count the gap because if you didn't get out here and you sat through that pain, your next option is here. So it's not length of a bar. It's when you're available to get out. You have to think about the trade part. So tomorrow could be interesting downside. So I was determined to get in, and I sent a note out. This morning I heard back from Time and Digest saying they've recorded my short. Now, somebody's going to ask me, why is the short as of the day before? Because they work on SPX only. They don't go by ES. They don't care about ES. You know why? Could be manipulated. You could call it and say, oh, my ES, when I sent you the email was this. No. This is one timestamp only. At the end of the day, the close is very clear. Why? It's 80% of US equities. It's the largest index in terms of market cap. By definition, you're not calling on the Dow or NASDAQ. You're calling on an SPX. Because it's market cap weighted. It's not arithmetic weighted. It's the 80% of US equities. It's the largest index in the US. Best resemblance or best benchmark for overall market. And it has this unique value. In about 2 minutes after the close, it settles. Within 1 to 2 minutes, it sells and it's gone. It typically changes every 6 seconds on the average. But at the end of the day, it takes about a minute, maybe 2. But under 2 minutes, it locks, and that's the number. So I was given this number, 382811. You see that on the close bar. So because why? Not why? Because of the cutoff time at 12 midnight Pacific time, because we have a lot of market timers on the West Coast. 12 midnight Pacific time, the Time and Digest rule says we'll assign you next day, that day. If you go past that, they assign you next day. So when I sent a note out to you guys, it was 12:30 my time, I believe, 12:40 my time, something like that. I forgot. I'm sorry. Actually, it's in the. It is in the website. Hold on. I posted it. Yeah, and we were going to post my notes to the for the newsletter. So you could see. Oh, where did I put it? I put that in. Oh, sorry. I haven't put that in yet. Sorry. We put in the. I put in the. Sorry. Bear with me. I'm slow. Archive. You go to archives. Okay. Last one, the 28th. That shows our exit. See, I'm putting the post. Notice of potential biases. All the emails we have done. Email to you. Boom, boom, boom. It's there. We have to have it. So, that's the dot com. Yeah, we'll fix that. That's just periods. We'll fix that. That's the ASCII problem. And this needs some carriage returns. Sorry, we'll clean this up. This was added in. I'll put this morning's note also there. 1 second. Let me bring that up. For the spirit of transparency. 1 second. Okay. Okay, that's to me. Okay, Nancy, I'll take a look. Okay, 1 second. Okay. No, Time and Digest. Hold on. There we go. So this is this is what happened. Here's Time and Digest. I send it out to you guys, according Mark Moskovich. We went short. The time was 1:31 in the morning. He responded by 6:22, saying that we have recorded. We don't count our position until we get this from him. Okay? And notice the date he assigned to it is yesterday close, because we made the deadline. If it was 3 a.m., then I missed it, which is 12 Pacific time. Now, why is that? Over time period, there are 125 people. We make so many calls. Maybe my average, I think, is 12 days. I have a stats that shows since December of 2014, my average trade has been 12 days, 12 trading days. So if one time it's that assigned the night before, or versus right but this time if I send the trade out, when the market's dead, there are 125 people in that. Not all of them are going to do what we do. It goes back and forth over a long period of time. It flushes out. The whole idea is a relative performance. Okay, and speaking of that, that's our relative performance. This was updated today. I just have to add that email that I showed you. I will. But notice that we put the 12.8 in. This was around noon. Why? Because we issued the order. Now, and then typically we did, again, I'm going to put this in the email, in this webinar for the following reason. As you know, Admiral Tico is in charge of this. So he sent out three, he said the setup first, and you see there's always a picture of him to authenticate that this is a valid email coming in. Not just our logo, but his pictures. Okay, so he came out and says, we at about 12:15. I think we locked up the trade at 12. Within 11 minutes, everything was ready, proofed, sent out to you. Please log in to see what it is. We do not send the trade out. It is in the website. Why? So people cannot email it back and forth. Plus, you got to log in. Then, but it says, do not execute. This is just there to tell you that what the trade is. It's not final. The pricing could change. That's the only difference is. Because after that, we get into a short-term timing model that says when we should do that. Well, this thing didn't last very long. By 15 minutes later, you see that 12:11 is 12:15. He sent his instruction saying this boost spread is 15 handles wide. Why? I want to discuss that too. I said I will discuss it because, and also if you look at the expiration, you'll see this expires right before the next Fed meeting. It goes past. We usually go 3 weeks because of that 12-day average. So we go 3 weeks into expiry. The way this was, we looked at it, we said, what? If we go to 4 weeks, okay, and given the sigma levels are, we'll be right before the next FOMC. And I want to be, and this will be our last trade for the year, market call for the year. We may continue our position, but in terms of actual option trade, remember, the pro gets option trade. We did it so it's right before the expiration. I'm sorry, FOMC meeting. And the way the sigma, the way the levels worked on the channel here, on sigma channels, it gave us opportunity for the first time in a while to go for 15 handles. Now, I think we paid something like $4 and change, $4.50, I believe. The other trade at PTI in Chicago executed. If you take 455 divided by 15, what do we get? I learned that from a very smart guy named Admiral Esposito. 4.55 divided by 15, that's actual fill. That's a 30%. The threshold is 0.33. You do not want to pay more than 0.33 of your width. The long and the short of the trade. So we're long a put in this area. Okay, actually, let me go here. This is important you understand the trade. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Now we update this chart there. We're actually betting on SPY, but we use SPX for market timing and the time in, time out, our action to enter or exit. Okay. We're buying somewhere in this area and then leveling somewhere in here. If you take those into account, that's 15 handles of SPY. That means 150 handles in this SPX. And if you look at the chart on a timer, it will be challenging this area. Okay, so time and place, it makes a lot of sense. Both time and place on the chart. If take into account the expiration and the end of the year and the last FOMC meeting, and it was right before, I think the one after that, the Friday after that was the December expiration. That's chaos. I want to be out of it by then. So all the experience in the past teaches you what things to do and not to do. I think we had a special situation here. Let's see how this thing works out. Is it made for perfection? No, no. But we follow certain rules, so some guidelines, and I think pricing was good. Um, at 30% or 29%, that's cheap. So we have some room there, and if we have to bolt out early, we still will walk away with a decent return. Okay, that's what the trade is. All right. So I appreciate you indulging with me in this because I want to get that in the recording. Let's go to our charts. Time. Okay. We had a good run up. The way that it traded yesterday, intraday, especially in the future side on the Nasdaq, that's what I usually trade. The 100 names in there versus the 500. It just told me that we may be going a little bit excessive, and the market has a tendency of juicing it up. When there's a potential reversal is coming, and Peter Cook in our chat room, our chief moderator, he called it. He says, "Listen, I'm expecting a move back. This is almost too good to be true." So you get your senses up. No divergence here. That's normal. Higher price, higher price and lower price. So it indicates it. That's not a divergence. Okay. We do have it. We're under pressure to the downside. The CIDFs are negative. The CIs have crossed. Okay. Volume was 1139 today. That's 1139 on the downside to a 1 to the upside. So that's decent. Now on the NAS, it was a 5 to 1, 5.5 to 1. So keep that in mind. Excuse me. Now we're a little skewed here because we had some crazy day there in June. That low in June, it was really pure downside volume. Okay. Canaries. Actually, another comment I made yesterday in the chat room was this run up. I said, take a look at transportation. It's almost perfect. It's trying to tell us the SPX will go up, and just be aware of how they fool you on the screen. And sure enough, look what we have tonight. Now, little we know FTX is going to get into trouble. Even as a matter of fact, this was the closing yesterday with FTX into trouble. Now, it looks like they moved away. So, listen, when they put your picture you on cover of a portrait, you're done. That's not the guy who had done that. The kid that was worth 16 billion all of a sudden from Bitcoin. He was on cover of Fortune. When that happens, you're done, basically. All right. The trenders. The trenders are differential between prices and moving averages. And we're still near the zero line. So we're playing around 50. Looks like we're going to be writing this down a little bit. My market bias is going to be short this time of the year. Most likely we're going to stay short for the most of the year. What's left of it, yeah. And somewhere in there, though, I want a bloodbath. I want to be done with. But for that, an event has to happen. FTX could have been. We haven't done that yet. We haven't seen it. Volume wasn't that bad. 11 to 1 is not that bad. I want to see 50 to 1, where it's just it's so bad you don't want to get in. That's the real low is. When you don't want to get in, you don't want to buy anything, that's the low. I don't think we're there yet. We're still too high up. SPX should be below 3,600 for that. So, you remember, ahead of Putin going to Ukraine, we had a spread on. Remember where the levels were, right? We bought, I think, 3,700, and we sold 3,500, the puts, with a 200 point, and we got it for $1. I never thought they would get there, but it was a very, very good yield. 200 to 1 I haven't done. I've done 30, with Amazon. That was an exhilarating move. It was like you're sitting in the shuttle, and and they lit the candle under you, and it just goes. But that was a hypothetical, but 200 points. But the only way you can experience that is by trying. You know, can't you can't play if you're not willing to bat. You gotta go to bat. So if you go to bat, then you have at least chance to play. Anyhow, what's our count here? Negative, positive, negative, negative. So we're like we're 7-1 or 1-7. I'm sorry, 1-7. Only transportation is above 50 bars. So yeah, this how the bottoms are made, where it's 0.8 or 1.7 to the downside. So, and you can see that, I mean, the what do you call it? The text have been just trashed, completely trashed. And there's been a massive move to value, but that's nothing new. I mean, and you've heard it on every program. This is just the mechanical part of it. This is the quantitative part of it. You can see it. Okay, S1, SP1W, that's the weekly version. We said on Sunday it's on the sell, remember? And so both on sell now, okay? Weekly and daily. Remember, a slightly different module or algo, but basically turtles, trend following. Nothing fancy. New lows are not up. We're not anywhere near bottom. We're too high up. We have to challenge this. That means that this value has to challenge these values around 140 and so plus. It is in the chart. We show that in the chart. I will put some charts up for you guys in the PMT the newsletter. Just couldn't do it last night. There was no way I could do that 2 in the morning. So no divergence here either. Nothing here. No. They're pretty much the same area. This is slightly down. That's down. So they're moving in unison. That's not a bearish divergence. I would like to see one who was an M, but with the second M slightly lower. Price higher, the slightly lower, but it didn't happen. It did not happen. So that's what it is. VIX and VXN, I was talking to a pretty decent trader over Saturday with a little friendly bunch of my buddies were together. We were about 40 of them. Well, some wives came and joined us for a barbecue. And one of the guys from New York is pretty good. And he's done a pretty good work himself. And also, he's kind of semi-retired, but he dabs in these things a little bit. And he says, well, what do you want for a bottom? I said, well, give me 40 on VIX. He poured a scotch over himself. He goes, what? It's like 26. I said, I know. You asked me what I want. I told you what I want. I mean, this is not a bottom here. And so he goes, you sure? I said, yeah. I know. I'm not sure about where the bottom is, but I'm sure it's not 26 VIX. It's not. So last time we were at 32 and we failed to gain it, or 34, I guess. So we got to take all of that. Now, over the weekend, at that time I'm talking, we were up here. So the 4 sigma, that dash line is a 4 sigma. On the VIX, we're around 40. So this area up here has to be penetrated. I think then that would be a short. Notice the CI is rotating for VIX. This is CI for VIX. So it should be heading up. This is all garbage, guys. These bars, the VIX is wrong. The VIX here is wrong. It shouldn't be this far down. I've told a couple of people we know through Admiral at SIBO to look into it, and TradeStation. They won't be able to come back with anything concrete, but it is what it is. Here's because if you do a control R, it should clean itself. It doesn't. That means that this is the data they're fed to a TradeStation. Let's go to SQ. Ooh, we pulled up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, I was getting worried because now we're making all-time lows. You see how the event. We have not seen this level change in years, which is around 110 something. And now we dropped below that, and all-time low is 110.34. Yeah. So I'm sorry, this was 111 something. Yeah, 111.7. So it dropped to 110. Design limit is 100. We've never ever been there. Also, Max was supposed to be 150. We violated that. Oh, many moons ago. Yeah. And now it now stands at all-time high, 170. And you could see how we got into trouble. The window there is about 60 days to 90 days. And I looked at it from the value and also sigma level. We're really low down here. So I think the big boys have not priced in the downside. They're assuming there isn't any. My thinking is they want to get that Porsche. They want to get the year-end bonuses. So they're not pricing it in. And that's when usually market strikes, when you're not prepared. It is alarming that there's not enough protection on the tail risk here. Remember, this is on the put side, not the call side, the put side of SPX options. And the big boys do not have protection. I find that very unusual. It's trying to say that they're very bullish here. If that's the case, you know me, I like to take the contrarian point of view, go against the majority, because only minority can win in what's money related, because you have commissions, you have slippage, and then you also have mistakes and errors, all that put together. There's no way majority can win. So I would like to go against that, but this tells me even the big boys are asleep here. So that should be a very interesting 2 or 3 weeks forward. What to expect, I have no idea. No clue. All I know is that I'm going to be very alert. Today's yield went up. Again, front end is just on fire. 0.1. I don't have a 2-year. Hopefully they had a 2-year for us. We don't see it. But you can see where we are in the 5, 10, and 30. This is killing the real estate market, and this is killing the car market. So TD. This is mainly what I use for time of digest. As we saw this on Sunday, no signal here, nothing. It's the middle of the road, kind of noisy, no conclusion. And you can also see it here. So too early to tell. Yeah, we sold off a tad today. This is because of the problem with the FTX, the Bitcoin, but no conclusion here. This is not much selling. So all I know is that my cousins are quiet, very quiet, because they were going in heavy on the Bitcoin. I clipped their wings. This was about 2 years ago. I said, you have no idea what you're getting into. And so I'm happy for them. Okay, we hit 90% down there at near the close. This is the Lowry up and down volume ratio. As you know, what's his name? I forget. The gentleman there that we does some of the work we do on that chart. Walter is it Deemer? I forget. Yeah, I think it's Walter Deemer. Yes, Walter Deemer. Yeah, make sure you follow him. He's a pretty good guy. And it's an old hand in technical analysis. We hit 90 finally, below 90% negative. The lack of big numbers up here was a concern to me. If you listen to Sunday webinar, I talked about that. And now, of course, we hit down here. So we do on 60 minutes. I look at it 2 or 3 times a day. And usually after the first hour, we post something. Admiral Tico does that at Admiral_TIKO. That's Tango India Kilo Oscar. If you want to follow that. Okay. This we talked about Sunday. This is the buying index, and it's a sell. It has been on a sell. Sell here hasn't changed. Okay. Sell here has not changed. This one to buy is going to be stopped out. This one's going to buy is going to get stopped out shortly. So ES, mid cap, Russell 2000, which is small caps, and then of course Nasdaq. This I've shown you. This is what we do for you guys out there when we do an update to the PMT, and basically it's a weekly levels of pivot, resistance, and support, or I call it SPR, support, pivot, and resistance. We did hourly bars, both for SPX and SPY. Now, of course, SPY trades at night, SPX doesn't, but we limit this to the RTH hours, regular trading hours, which is 9:30 to 4 p.m. So the charts are staying sync. Again, you'd see the pressure to the downside. It's there. So. Okay, one more chart we have. Sorry, I'm a little bit tired, but there we go. Okay, this one. Is this updated? Yes, it is. 9. Okay. Let me close up. If you have any questions, please post. Okay. We pulled back a little bit here. We had an earlier one yesterday up, so we pulled back. And, okay, we're getting a little more data there, more drawing time, or yeah, for the 2 lines, 20 and 50 MA moving average. And now we're going to watch this. This is what we want to watch. The issue is the separation between the two. If the separation is big, it's going to continuation. If separation is tight, it's going to do sideways like this. So we'll see how we go. Given that where we are around 26 to 36 area, let's say this area, 25 to 35 area, yeah, it still has a bias to the upside. It gets kind of lost between 45 and 55, and then it starts building a bias to a downside as it goes higher. It's a mean reversion. But right now, still this is saying we should get better on this scoring indicator, which is number of components of S&P 500 above their respective 200-day MA. And that's where we are. You can get this yourselves from stock charts. That's a symbol you want to use. This one. Okay, that's my spiel. We're net short, and all other things being equal, ceteris paribus, we're probably going to hold it past at least 13, 14. I think that's the Fed meeting. Let's see, where's Fed meeting? FRB. Yeah, there we go. Fed meeting, monetary policy schedule. There we go. Let's go. And that's this one, 13, 14 of December, which I believe is Tuesday, Wednesday of the is it second or third? 1, 2, no, it's the second week. Yeah, so I'm wrong. That's not the expiration, right? Expiration is 23rd. Gotcha. Okay. So between these two, and right after that, I think the market volume should drop off the cliff and go nowhere fast. Typically it does. So we'll see. Unless we have another fiasco from Mr. Putin. Any questions for me? Going once? No questions? Okay. Thanks for attending. We'll keep these short and sweet. And good night to all. We'll post it shortly. The other night, I don't think I posted until early morning because it was late and it was my bad. But tonight we're going to do it early. Okay, guys? Thanks for attending. We'll see you. And good luck with Greg. Good luck with, or Gary, I should say. Good luck with the Bitcoin. Yeah, that's just what a disaster this turned out to be. My attitude is you cannot mess around with Fed. And Fed prints money. Nobody else is in the business of making money, printing money. They don't like that. So, you know, a little hit of regulation, what a mess they created. So. But I found it was a heavy hit, but at least he's cashed out. He accepted the loss. Yeah. So he's got a net loss carryover for a long time. Yeah. Talk to you guys soon. All the best. Bye-bye.